Alright everybody, welcome back to another Stikbot Central tier list. This time we're going to be doing Stikbot Central Original Series. Without further ado, let's get into it. Alright, so first up we have Look Animals. Honestly, this one was kind of mid. I don't know, I don't remember anything that happened in that series. All I remember is that it was like connected to like the overall Stikbot lore thingy with the guy in the chair. That was part of like Dino Planet and the monster movie and all that. I'm just gonna give it C tier. It was, it was mid. Tales of the Strange. It took me a long time to realize that this was kind of a spoof of Stranger Things. I was like 11 years old probably when I saw this, so, too young to watch Stranger Things back then, but now, I'm a Giga Chad average Stranger Things enjoyer. Yeah, this series is alright. I'd probably give it a B. Megabot Origins, I think it could have been dramatically improved. Like, the ending was, a bit interesting, I guess. Because, like, the main character's all like, we need to make stuff that actually helps Stikbots instead of hurting them. But, like, you created the Avalanche and the Turbo Cycle to help people. And then they got used for evil. And then you created a weaponized mech suit, so... I don't know, man. Like, just because someone uses something for bad things doesn't necessarily make it inherently bad. Like, I don't know why you'd stop making the Avalanche and the Turbo Cycle. If anything, that other guy had the right idea. Like, he wasn't necessarily marketing them as weapons. He just kind of stole them and mass-produced them, so, I mean... Meh, C tier. Bachelorette, I think, like, it just had, like, way too many contestants, especially compared to the original Bachelor. And plus, like, a lot of them, like, in the Bachelor, most of the contestants, well, actually, no, all the contestants were basically, like, humanoid, like, people. Like, Stikbot, like, everyone's sort of just, like, a representation of a human person, right? And then there's Bachelorette with Bumblebee and freaking minions. So, yeah, I don't even want to know how that works, but, yeah, it was kind of... not as good as The Bachelor, C tier. Galaxy Defenders was actually pretty good, but then they canceled it, like, right after the big twist-ish. And then there was that cool thing where it was, like, make the ending to, like, the Stikbot town or whatever, so I'm gonna give it an A. Now, Stickcraft, I don't really remember much about Stickcraft. Like, you could ask me what happened in that, like, series. I'd be able to tell you that Steve was a bad guy, there was a red one that was addicted to video games, and the pink one called her cow a horse, and that's about it, so... yeah. Now, the Stikbot Show Morning Edition could have been good, but I think the community kind of bullied it to death. Like, they were actually taking fan criticism seriously and trying to make it better, but ultimately it just, like, wasn't as good as the original, so... God, that is a lot of C tiers. Don't worry, we're getting into A tier territory with some of these later ones, don't worry. Speaking of A tier territory, Off the Grid, is not A tier territory, I'm sorry. Off the Grid is a series that exists and that people put in high regard for some reason. There is a Stikbot that gets kidnapped, and then the other Stikbot goes on a 6-season journey to find her. Actually, you know what? I see why people love this. It has everything you could ever want. A bunch of side quests, characters dying and then coming back, anime waifus. Honestly, I think everyone liked this series a lot because we were all a bunch of edgelords back at, like, when this show was popular. We were all probably, like, 11 or 12 years old, so... You know what? Everyone loves this so much that I want to put it in a high tier, but I thought it was boring, so I want to put it in a C tier. So we'll compromise. Add a row below. See this right here? We're gonna make it gray. We're gonna name it, alright? Off the Mid. There we go. What the Bot, classic original Stikbot series. Honestly, like, yeah, some of the episodes are good, some of them are not good, but I feel like if you put them all, like, in an overall spectrum of quality, I'd put it A tier. Up next we have French with Fred. Once again, another classic Stikbot series, a certified hood classic if I do say so myself. He may not have been a very great cook, but what he lacked in chefing abilities, he makes up for in humor and overall fun, so A tier. The Stikbot portal easily gets a D tier, okay? And I'm gonna explain that very briefly. So imagine what it would be like to be a small little youngster, who's a fan, an average Dino Planet enjoyer, if you will, and stumbling upon a video titled Dino Planet Never Before Seen Episode Stikbot Portal, and clicking on it eagerly, excited to see characters brought back from the past, and instead it's clickbait. It is literally clickbait. I don't even care what the other episodes are like. I will never watch them because no. Get it out of here. Be gone. And speaking of Dino Planet is an underrated gem that no one talks about enough, so I'm gonna give it an A tier. Stikbot Show, congratulations, getting the first S tier in our tier list. That is amazing. I think what the show did best was how dynamic and different each episode was from the last, and also how well it brought together the community by bringing in small snippets of YouTube videos, Musical.ly videos back when it was called that, and like Instagram posts. It's basically just everything the Stikbot show tried and failed to be, unfortunately. Up next we got Henry tutorials. Now this stuff was pretty good, but honestly, like, it's definitely very beginner-oriented and kind of like youngster-oriented, especially like Henry the Puppet and all. Up next we got The Bachelor, once again another pretty good show. I like how it lets you kind of like choose the ending with the last two like contestants, so yeah, I'm gonna give it a B tier. And last but not least, we got Misadventures of Stikbot. This was the reason I started making Stikbot videos, so I'd love to give it an S tier. But like, it's not like some groundbreaking masterpiece, so I'm just gonna give it an A tier. Well, can't wait to get blasted in the comments for not putting Off the Grid an S. Later!